Oh, what up, though? Ricky Jones here, back again with the news. With all this Michael Jackson, R. Kelly drama nonsense that we've seen going on lately, with the media's incessant manipulation of information and its intentions on totally destroying the lives of our most top-notch, or at least most highly recognized black entertainers. It took me back to a video that I've seen from one of my favorite YouTubers again, Tupac Hoax Reveal, the channel. Subscribe, like, get notified about their videos. It reminded me of Chapter 4, the Tupac Hoax Reveal channel. If you didn't know, they have an extensive list of videos. I believe there are 30, 20, let me see, it's 30 something chapters, I believe, to the, let's see, 36. So we got 38. Yeah, there are 38. Actually, there are 40 now. So there are 40 chapters to the full Tupac Hoax Reveal series. I highly advise and recommend people to watch it, be objective, have an open mind, um, compare what you know with information that you're presented, and then just sort the facts out yourself. But this particular video, The Confusion, Chapter 4, it was from 2016. It goes into, forget it. Let's just watch.
I cannot die. I can't leave until this is straight. You know, I'm not suicidal. I can't go until y'all really know what time it is. And then after that, boom, it's all over. And we can see, how this could fall, but that's how it is. If I can't live free, if I can't live with the same respect as the next man, I don't want to be here. If God wanted me to be happy
Believe
here,
your
He wouldn't
eyes.
let me feel so oppressed.
We had a cooperating witness who was present at the MGM that night after Orlando Anderson was beat down. He testifies to the fact that he sees Orlando Anderson bleeding from the head.
Now, Murder Rap that he's speaking of right here. Murder Rap is a documentary made by, I believe, an individual named Greg Kading, who's one of the detectives back in the day with LAPD on the initial Tupac case. Greg Kading and individuals like him have continued to milk the Tupac case through documentaries, books, interviews, and appearances. They state their information as if it's fact. They state as if they know all the details of the case. They bring up all these different names and associates, people who are no longer with us and people who will never talk and cooperate. And they just state that they know what happened when it comes to Tupac Shakur's case. So as you can see in the so-called beatdown, now we're looking at what we know, what we've seen, what we've heard versus how things are presented to us.
He
We've seen
sees
this
Orlando
tape
Anderson
for years.
bleeding from
If
the
you
head.
look closely at this tape,
We
he's
had a
supposedly being beat up by Tupac, I believe Suge Knight, and some gang members. Beat down, mind you. Grown men beat down.
cooperating witness who was present at the MGM
Miss,
that night
miss.
after Orlando Anderson was beat
Look at
down.
these kicks again.
We had a cooperating witness
Miss.
who was present
Miss.
at the MGM
Miss.
that
And then
night
dude here
after
kicks him in the
Orlando
butt.
Anderson was beat down.
Now this is a security guard. This guy, this white shirt that you see is actually a security guard on top of the Anderson guy. Here's another security guard. So we don't see the video until either well into this supposed beating or it was broken up fairly quickly. But one thing we do know that nobody has ever stated is that two security guards are on top of this gentleman immediately. Or so it seems.
Who was present at the MGM that night
One,
after
two,
Orlando
go.
Anderson was beat down. He testifies to the fact that he sees Orlando Anderson bleeding from the head.
He's got on a white jersey with no blood on it. But he got beat down. So So that's the fight. Now, mind you, if that's the beginning of the fight, the security guard was in on it the whole time because this woman did not react to anything until this big mass of humanity came this way. Now we know that there's a security guard on top of Orlando Anderson. There he is. He kicked him in the butt. And then they just walk away. Miss. 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 Now that one might have got him. But he kicked the security guy, did he? Oh no, he kicked the Anderson guy. So we know they got two good kicks in the ass hand at least. See what these other people doing. If I'm not mistaken, person, there's a guy. This guy looks like he's punching. This guy who looks like he's punching ends up getting knocked over here.
He testifies to the fact that he sees Orlando Anderson bleeding from the head, bleeding from the head.
Bleeding from the head.
They set out to find Suge Knight and Tupac Shakur.
Then we came up Harmon, got the Las Vegas Boulevard, and shit, here they coming at BMW, a gang of cars.
Keefe D claims that the girls who are riding alongside Tupac and Suge Knight are what drew their attention to the BMW. They're screaming out his name, Tupac, Tupac.
I think that's the Caden guy. If you notice in all the reenactments, they never show other cars for some reason on the strip of Las Vegas after a Mike Tyson fight.
Like, there's Suge, like, and then he was like, come on, come go with me.
They're screaming out his name, Tupac, Tupac.
Like,
But the
there's
girls said it was
Suge, like,
saying
and then he
Suge.
was like, come on, come go with me.
Tupac, Tupac.
There's Suge, like, and then he was like, come on, come go with me.
Affliction.
Come go with us, we going to 662.
And bros, Tupac, Tupac. We like, there they go. Made the U-turn. We wasn't supposed to make it. We just wanted the U-turn. They was in the middle lane. We just pulled up on the side, checked every car, see where they was.
So what directed your attention to him was some girl shouting at Tupac?
Tupac.
There's Suge, like,
He gave himself away. Otherwise, they would have got away. I thought he was gonna pull on my side. You know, that's my little man.
Now the guy talking right now is the man who's claiming to have been the shooter of Tupac. This dude named Keefe D. Keefe D supposedly was sitting passenger side and leaned all the way over his mans and them, Terrence, to shoot at Tupac and them, who supposedly was looking this way at females.
Definitely wanted to look out for him, you know. And he pulled on their side.
So you were fitting to blast if you had to, or you were just...
Yeah, if we would have been on my side, I would have blasted.
Okay.
Also, he didn't
I gave
shoot.
it to Dre, and Dre was like, no. And Lane's like, dude, pop it, dude. He leaned over on the window, rolled down the window, pop. I seen the bullet going Suge head. I thought he was dead.
Not saying anything.
Now, Suge Knight supposedly got grazed on the right side of his head. There's an infamous picture of Suge Knight in court recently when he went to jail where he's got glasses on. Does this look like the head of a man that was shot in it? Let's go deeper. Oops. Just get a little closer. That's all. Doesn't look like the head of a man who got shot in it, if you task me. But grazed. They say he was grazed. I mean, I don't see a burn mark. Is this little indentation supposed to be something? I don't know. But I have never seen any signs of this man ever having any wounds on his head. And one thing we know about Suge, we have forever seen him rocking the baldy. Now I see a little dark spot there, but let's see. These two pictures, you see a dark spot on the right side of his head. Dark spot's a little lighter in that picture. And again, we go back to the original. There's no spot at all. A little bit of a dark thing there, but nowhere near what it looks like on these two. So again, everything on the internet can be made to look like something that it ain't, and you could be told what it is. But let's continue.
That's how he got shot in his hip, which hit one of the bones, the doctor said, and traveled to hit his lung. When he stood up, I grabbed him to get down, then covered him. That's how he got shot in his hip, which hit one of the bones, the doctor said, and traveled to hit his lung. When he stood up, I grabbed him to get down, then covered him. When I pulled him down, that's when I got shot in my head.
Really though.
Thought he was dead.
So Tupac's trying to jump in the back seat. And what's Suge doing? Just ducking?
Ducking. He couldn't really duck because he was too big, you know. Yeah. We made the right and some bras and sea breeze was following us. Stupid pictures.
Somebody started shooting this way, they're shooting that way. So we're in the midst of all of this gunfire, and only thing we could think
Somebody's shooting this way and they are shooting that way. Multiple shooters? A shootout on the Sunset Strip?
of is get out of there.
Matter of fact, excuse me, wasn't Sunset, L.A. But check this out, a Las Vegas Strip. Look at me, bro. I'm all confused. See the confusion that this is done? Vegas Strip installs cameras. Let's see the oldest story we can find that says that the Vegas Strip installed cameras. See if there's one that exists. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. (2013). That's not nowhere near far enough. I need a custom range. If you didn't know, you can Google this way. You can Google years, just from a certain year to a certain year. Let's see, Vegas traffic cameras. Okay, no stories there. Let's see if I just do that. Oh, well, they don't want to give me none. And that's pretty interesting that I can't find any stories between 1995 and 1999 about traffic cameras in Vegas. So if I just click archives, it's going to give me all this 2018 stuff. I'm going to do a little further research and go back to see what's the oldest story I can find. Because, you know, Google ain't going to cooperate. But we going to look.
And start blasting back on him?
Yeah.
So he had bullets left?
Yeah. And they pulled up in the ambulance while we was standing right there. Take our bullshit.
You guys on the street with?
We on Las Vegas Boulevard at the crosswalk, and they pull up at the ambulance right next to us.
With him in the car already?
Tupac and Suge in the car.
And y'all just
This is
walking?
close.
Did they see you?
No, they couldn't see. We didn't give a fuck. We
They know
was
what
right
they
I'm
said.
talking about the ambulance park right here.
They
Right
soaking.
next to it. That shit was funny as a ball. And I ain't ever
So the guys who shot at Tupac and Suge Knight, after they shot at Tupac and Suge Knight, stuck around long enough to have the ambulance drive right past them on the strip, I guess. And that was funny than a motherfucker. Also, side note, they didn't take Tupac to the closest hospital. They took him to a hospital a little further. But that's another story.
Yeah. He's playing your taped interview in that movie. Your voice and everything. I would. Yeah. I would. I would get a civil rights attorney, and you sue the LAPD too, because
the FBI told me to sue them.
Well, listen to me say something.
They said they came to my house right before his book came out. Said this guy put your life in danger. You sue his ass and the LAPD, city of LA. They told me everything. Do you want to move? I ain't scared of them. They said, "Oh, we know you ain't scared of them like that. But we gotta come offer you that to move you and stuff like that." Was Timothy, got that dude's last name.
Seriously, or Syrian? He was the U.S. attorney, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's because FBI agents in my house.
Did he?
Yeah.
He did.
That dude is putting out a movie, and we got to protect you. Do you want to move?
What I believe that you told.
Now, who has the luxury of having the U.S. Attorney's Office show up at their house and say, "Hey, man, they're making a movie saying that you're involved in the Tupac shooting. We want to protect you, so would you like some federal custody protection?" Who does that? Who shows up at people's doors and do that? Ask them, "Hey, man, we know you ain't scared of nothing, but would you like some protection from the government? Because the guy's making a movie implicating you in a murder of Tupac Shakur." Nonsensical. Completely 100% nonsensical.
Told Greg Kading was what Greg Kading wanted.
Yeah. You get out of trouble. This mother was talking about 25 years. I didn't have no fucking 25 years, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But what I believe that you told Greg Kading was what Greg Kading wanted.
Yeah. You get out of trouble. This mother was talking about 25 years. I didn't have no fucking 25 years, right?
What I believe.
Now y'all see that? The Keefe D guy? Let me show you something. This is an individual that gets paid, again, like I tell y'all all the time, off of us and everything that has to do with us. There's one interview from, there's another one. There's another one, but this ain't the one. Let's see. Greg Kading states, if Suge Knight cooperated, Tupac's murder would have been solved. I want y'all to go watch that video. If Suge Knight cooperated, Tupac's murder would have been solved. And listen to what the Kading guy says, because he states that Suge started beef with some Bloods at Death Row. If he was a Blood, why would he start the beef with the Bloods at Death Row when one of his biggest artists, or a couple of his biggest artists, are Crips? The Dog Pound, Nate, Snoop. Also, most of the interview is him dogging Suge, which is easy to do right now since he's locked up. But this video is also necessary to watch. I secretly recorded Keefe D's Tupac murder confession. Just February 27th, just about a week and a half ago, he states on Vlad TV's platform, and 93,000 people have seen, that this Keefe D guy confessed to murdering Tupac Shakur on tape. We're listening to that tape right now. Where's the confession?
He did.
That dude is putting out a movie, and we got to protect you. Do you want to move?
What I believe that you told Greg Kading.
He just said to us, he ain't got 25 years left.
You get out of
but what
trouble.
is there to confess?
25 years. I didn't have no fucking 25 years, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But what I believe that you told Greg Kading was what Greg Kading wanted.
Yeah. You get out of trouble. This mother was talking about 25 years. I didn't have no fucking 25 years, right?
What I believe that you told Greg Kading was what Greg Kading wanted.
I do believe it was conspiracy. That's why there's all this confusion.
Now, if you don't know, this is not Bokeem Woodbine. No, this is not Omar Epps or Michael Mackay Pfeiffer. This is Tupac Shakur's younger brother. If you didn't know, now you know.
You know, it was meant to be confusing.
How can someone's murder, how can the murder of a person meant to be confusing? The murder of a person meant to be specific, intended by whoever intended on doing it, and capable of being solved by the people who are paid to do so. It is not to be confusing. It was a man being shot on the Vegas Strip after a Mike Tyson fight, if that's what they say happened.
Conspiracy, that's why there's all this confusion. You know, it was meant to be confusing.
Why would you want it to be? Appreciate you,
Wounds
bro.
are life-threatening, but serious, not.
This individual here is a officer who was on the scene in Las Vegas at the Tupac Shakur shooting, Suge Knight shooting that was said to have took place. So let's listen to this dude.
Wounds are life-threatening, but serious, not in critical condition at this time.
Now, I need to rewind this one more time because every time I hear it, it confuses me. Did this man say his wounds are life-threatening? They're not serious, but he's in critical condition? But what? Excuse me? Pardon me?
Wounds are life-threatening, but serious, not in critical condition at this time.
The wounds are life-threatening, but not serious in critical condition. Let's see how this guy explains it.
Wounds are life-threatening, but serious, not in critical condition at this time.
The latest is he remains in critical condition, which was his condition when he arrived here at UMC.
But what really struck me, what really kind of bothered me, was that his face was so swollen with fluids that it didn't look normal.
I heard his head was really swollen. I don't know if it was.
Nah. No way.
It was meant to be confusing.
Next, the hidden video, the exclusive interview, the secrets behind the death of Tupac. The secrets behind.
Just keep looking. Supposedly, some guy bought the Tupac Shakur murder vehicle. If you didn't know, Tupac BMW sold. So there's the BMW. Is this the one? Let's make sure we get the right one. It was sold for, it always ends up getting sold and resold like $1 million. That just has one bullet hole. I don't know if that's the one. But we're trying to find a picture of the actual vehicle. Not on the day they freaking supposedly shot it. But let's just go to a quick story about it. This was businessinsider.com. If you didn't know, Business Insider, let's just look at their homepage for a second and see why this was interesting to Business Insider. Oh, Elizabeth Warren says she wants to break up big tech companies. Guess what, Elizabeth? They'll murder you before you close out their companies. You have to speak to Jeffrey and Mark about that because they are about that paper. Trump reportedly wants America's closest allies to pay all the costs of hosting U.S. troops plus 50%. All right, so that's what Business Insider is about. Listen, Business Insider, no thanks. Basically, they're selling it for $1.5 million, and that's what they said. And I'm not about to deal with their pop-up blocker cookies thing. So this is supposed to be the car. 1, 2, maybe 3 gun holes. 1, 2. Here's a third, or there's an extra one, or however that went, and then here's that thing. Not the same.
Suge's car is hit with a spray of bullets. 4 of them rip into Tupac's body.
And Tupac got shot 13 times.
The rain of bullets strikes Tupac 5 times.
That guy was a former outlaw. Now he's a Muslim.
Multiple gunshot wounds. He was shot 3 times, I believe, or 3 that I identified.
Not 4?
It was meant to be confusing.
You know, I wish he was here every day. But I don't want him to be unhappy. And I know that my son was, he chose his life. Cared about him, and they came to wish him everything well and to give him good energy and to hear what people thought of him, people that did care for him, and that's.
Remember, his mom was so dope that while she was pregnant and in jail for murder of police officers and terrorism, she was able to defend herself and somehow overcome a 150-year prison sentence, dolo. And then Tupac was born.
That's what he heard in his last hours, is many people who cared for him, telling him just that. Cared about him, and they came to wish him everything well and to give him good energy.
That was in that actual interview. Let's do the eye zoom, man. They play that game.
You know, in the end, he chose to leave quietly.
You know, with his eyes, he was just shaking the bed. I'm like, chill out, you're gonna break something else, you're gonna hurt something else. He was just shaking the bed.
He chose to leave quietly.
With his eyes, he was just shaking the bed. I'm like, chill out, you're gonna break something else, you're gonna hurt something else. He was just shaking the bed.
And they pulled up in the ambulance.
Tupac into the helicopter away. He had been shot.
It was meant to be confusing.
So what was it, man? Was it an ambulance? Was it a helicopter? Helicopter would make sense, but who knows? That's an iceberg jacket. Shout out to Iceberg. They had grown men wearing Looney Tunes clothes and made them pay $1,000 for it.
Pop was tired, man. He was tired of living without man. You could tell. He was running. He was running to be loved.
He was also only 25 too, so I don't know why he would be so tired and rich. Or was he rich?
Pop was tired, man. He was tired of living without man. You could tell. He was running.
It's that Tyrese.
He was running to be loved.
My baby! Yeah, my baby! I'll take my baby!
Why you think nobody been arrested if they said they didn't want to kill Tupac?
And we had him identified by fingerprints. So I didn't know him personally. So if it wasn't Tupac Shakur, I don't know who it was. All the identification we had was authentic. So if it wasn't Tupac Shakur, I don't know who it was.
Would it be possible to fake a coroner's certificate?
Oh, anything's possible. But I don't think it was.
Shout out to the guy that deals with dead people all the time.
Sort some things out, and I have here a copy of Tupac Shakur's driver's license, and that was issued in May that year. And this is the official coroner's report. And if you compare those two with each other, he had gained 47 pounds in 4 months. That's really strange, is it?
Well,
Now the excuse that I've heard people use is that he was filming a movie. I think it was Gridlock or something like that. Not that.
weight on a body is determined by putting the gurney and the decedent on a scale.
Yeah.
And that scale may or may not be accurate. So sometimes the weight is off, and sometimes the height is off. An individual standing up is usually shorter than he is when he's lying down.
Word.
Was the photograph of the autopsy of Tupac Shakur? Do you think it would be possible to manipulate a photo in such a way that it would seem real, but actually is fake?
Absolutely so. Sure.
This guy's awesome.
So this could be a fake picture?
Could be. But I don't think it is. Because I see everything here that I saw at the time of the autopsy. Could be. I don't think it is. Because I see everything here that I saw at the time of the autopsy.
Anything's possible.
Could be.
This specific
I don't think it
industry I
is.
deal with.
Because I see everything here that I saw at the time of the
Motherfucker just
autopsy.
get up and walk off.
Could be.
All I know.
I don't think
Did he
it is.
know? Is it possible? Absolutely.
It was meant to be confusing.
Listen. Stop letting these people play with your emotions. Stop letting them tug you and pull you back and forth week after week, day after day, month after month over these entities that they've created. Over these caricatures. The money made. We don't know. There's no scale for actors, actresses, movie stars, musicians. An art form that they told us was flash in the pan, that would never last, that would 100% be out of here. Out of here. In a short amount of time. Is all of a sudden the biggest thing on the planet. If y'all didn't know, if you guys did not know, this is a story out of the BBC, UK, February 21st, 2019. Paris organizers propose breakdancing to the International Olympic Committee as a new sport for 2024. Now, for y'all not aware, breakdancing is a worldwide phenomenon for the fact that everybody can dance. If you can walk, you could dance. It breaks cultural barriers. You don't have to engage in a certain amount of dialogue. You could just get busy, and your skills are what they are. That's why graffiti, DJing, b-boying, beatboxing, beat making, all of those things have crossed all lines as far as the implements of hip-hop worldwide. Everybody don't rap, but everybody can get down with the other 5 elements. There are 6 elements in hip-hop. Beatboxing is an element. I put that out there all the time. But we can go street fashion. We can do all these other things too if you want to play that game. The elements of hip-hop are ingrained and embedded in world culture. So now, organizers in Paris propose, hey, breakdancing, it's among 4 sports that they want to bring to the 2024 Olympics. If they actually did it, it'll debut in 2020. So let's see, what were the other sports? Squash, that was unsuccessful, as did billiards, pool, and chess. Breakdancing was included in the Youth Olympic Games in Buenos Aires in 2018. Now dig this. If y'all have yet to see this competition, it's not embarrassing, but it is embarrassing. Because all the things that our parents told us would never get us nowhere, all the things that they told us was not the way to go that we created, especially this culture of hip hop. has taken the world 100% by storm. So now, when you look at who are the best B-boys, it ain't Turbo, Ozone, Crazy Legs. Yes, we got the Lace Twins. We got all these other guys. But when you look worldwide now, internationally, we hard pressed to say that we doing it. And this is the integral element. Integral element. Break dancing. Oh, we think we can dance so damn good. I would love to see breakdancing in the Olympics, but the lack of Black American participation would dishearten me so much. But I'm still gonna do it because this is my culture. Mind you, this is the Youth Olympics, the final, Japan versus Russia. So I would guess that most of these kids are 15 to 16. He got that in. Once he gets stronger, he gonna really kill that move. But I'm showing this just to show you that the media, especially here in the States, they're using the culture of black people, the things that we've indulged in, and the things that have created legacies for us, simply as fodder for their advertisers, for their corporate monopoly, for their media monopoly. Become aware, stay diligent, read, 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 read. That's been Ricky Jones, and this is the news. Bullet.